Alrighty. So, combat in Traveler's Tale for version 4.0, I feel like is probably the most complex thing in this entire system, just because of all of the moving pieces on it. I honestly need to get playtesting started back up either this week or the next so we can try it. Also, I'm slurping on some Dr. Pepper, so if you hear that in the background, I do be apologizing.
Music licensing reimagined.
Okay, but with that said, let's get into it. So let's talk about what combat is currently. I'm gonna go and put in all of my kind of rules. Well, maybe I won't. There's a lot here. Let's talk about what it is currently. So everybody gets one free attack and defense action every round. I think my verbiage needs to be a lot better because I think that's what's currently messed up on it. They get one free attack and defense action every single round. Any more than the one attack or any more than the free action costs anima. Okay, which is good. And then the anima amount increases by 1 for each action. After the first, one free attack and defense action every round. Any more than the free actions cost anima. The anima amount increases by 1 for each action. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to throw in a little table here. Let's see. I need attacks and then anima cost. So that's really what I need. So yeah, I mean.
Music licensing reimagined.
And then this would be anima cost. Okay, so 1 is free. Let's go ahead and make these. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is free. This. I'm sorry. This costs 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 anima. Okay. So this is how much anima you have to ante. Any more than the free action. Okay, I'm gonna say requires 1 anima to be anteed. The anima amount increases by 1 for each action after the first. So number of actions. Our first action is free. Second action is 1. Third is 2. Fourth is 3, and then fifth would be 4 anima that you have to ante. So the other thing is that I need to find a way to explain this. Is that like attack actions and defense actions both have their own like cost here. So this isn't like the number of total actions. So like if you've taken 2 attacks and like 3 defense, then now you're taking 4 anima. I don't know how to say it, but it's like I want them to be independent. So it's like attacking and defending have I don't know, it's like different
music licensing
modes, maybe.
reimagined.
Alright, yeah, so I want attacking and defending to have different like pools for the action. I don't know how to say it. Let's go to ChatGPT and let me ask this guy here. Let me see what he says.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
For example, if I am Okay, let's see what ChatGPT gives us
Music
for how to make
licensing
this make sense.
reimagined.
Because I don't know what the right wording would be here. Okay, attack attacks and defense. Okay, for each type, the cost is based on how many times that specific action has already been taken this round, on your overall action count. You've already attacked 3 times this round. 0 plus 1 plus 2. Now you declare a 4th attack. Later in the same round, you need to defend for only the 2nd time. That defense costs 1 anima. Okay, think of it as having 2 parallel price ladders. Okay, that's a nice way to say it. So I guess really all I need to say is that they're tracked, separate action tracks. I think it would be helpful to probably have this little table in here as well, just so people understand. For each type, the cost is based on how many times that specific action has already been taken. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. Okay, attacking and defending have separate tracks for your anima cost. An example, if you have attacked 2 times in one, or let's say this, 3 times in 1 round, you would have anteed 1 anima, then 2 anima.
Music
but if you go
licensing
to
reimagined.
take your 2nd defense action, even though it is technically your 5th action, it doesn't cost 4 anima. It would only cost 1 because attacking and defending have separate tracks. I still don't love the way that that's worded. But I think we're starting to get somewhere where like it's makes a little bit of sense. Also I need to change this. Let's add column to the right. Okay, and then let's say number of
reimagined.
attack actions, and then number of defense actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Attacking and defending are tracked separately in terms of how much anima. Oh, I keep on doing that. Anima you need to ante.
Music licensing reimagined.
Tracked separately in terms of you need to ante rather than each action adding to the total of what you have done round. Also, at the beginning of each round, these tracks are reset. Okay, let's see. We still need to. It's still kind of confusing, so let's see if we can make it any clearer. Let's see. Okay, that's a great way to sum it up. Okay, I think these are important.
Music licensing reimagined.
Okay, yeah, this is really good. I like the way that looks. I think that makes it make a little bit more sense. Okay, so we already have our little table here. But I think that's a decent way for it to kind of be stated. I'll throw that in here. We can get rid of this. So we already have it. And I can make all this kind of look pretty later. But at least we have that now. So independent action costs for attacks and defense. That's good.
Music licensing reimagined.
And then right here, we put that table. Should make these bold.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Right on. Okay. So now that we got that piece, I think that a lot better explains
Music licensing
the
reimagined.
more like advanced combat side of things. I gotta look at some verbiage here because I know in some of my things I've been saying like attack chain and defense chain. And so I do kind of want to keep maybe some of that verbiage where I say that whenever you start like a chain, that all this stuff starts happening. So in this system, attack actions and defense actions each have their own separate cost tracks. That means the cost to attack depends on how many times you've attacked this round. Okay. Yes, but somewhere in here, I think I want it to talk about how, like, once you get to the second one, you start the
Music
chain.
licensing
And if you fail at
reimagined.
all, or I don't know. I guess as soon as you start attacking, it's already like that. But I don't know. I probably don't need to have that verbiage in there. That may just make it more confusing. So we can just kind of keep things as is for right now. Because we have something that's good enough. You know, it works. We know what it is. Makes enough sense. I think we're all right.
Artlist.io.
Man, I sure do wish I could be in a different space. Oh well. Okay. So that's combat. That's a little bit better rewording for that one piece. Now let's see. I had another little document here that was some other
Music
things I need to work on.
licensing
So
reimagined.
gonna go pull that up. Okay, so combat system refinement. I think we got that piece worked out okay. There is some more stuff that I'd like to talk about here though. So one of which is for opportunity attacks. I think
Artlist.io.
I like the ruling that I have in the current version. So to make an opportunity attack, you must be engaged with that target. If the target
Music licensing reimagined.
actually, let me go just pull it from what I have from my 4.0 document, because I do have it in here and I think I like the way that it was worded. So opportunity attacks, let's grab this. Let's see if there's anything that we need to tweak about this, or if it's kind of okay on its own. So when attacking an enemy face to face, you are engaged. Engaged means that a target is within 10 feet of you. When a target that you are engaged with attempts to flee without disengaging, you can take an opportunity attack once they move at least 5 feet away from you. Once a target is more than 10 feet away from you, you cannot make attacks of opportunity because you are no longer engaged, even if your weapon has a 15-foot reach. Yes. I think another thing to add to this is that this attack it's a combat action. That's the thing that it runs into. So
Music licensing reimagined.
as a combat action, yeah, this attack will stack. Will add onto your, like, this attack chain, I guess.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Okay. I think that's good. I think the nice thing about this is that opportunity attacks kind of break realism for some people, and that's understandable, but at the same time there has to be some realism for getting in a person's face and not necessarily locking them down, but just having melee fighters be rewarded for that. And I really try to do that in my game, especially is reward melee, primarily just because it's a lot harder. Like in any game that you play, if you play with a gun and then you go and you play with a swordsman, it's going to be a completely different game because it's so much easier in a lot of games to just sit back with a bow or with a gun or whatever and just shoot somebody from afar than be up in their grill. Unless, you know, the person that you're fighting also has a whole lot of ranged attacks. So this piece right here, though, that this attack will add onto your total number of attacks for this round, it's kind of one of those things to where, like, you can't really be spamming opportunity attacks, because if like 5 people walk past you, well, you probably can't take opportunity attacks on every single one of them because you would have to spend so much anima to do so. So it's more than likely that you're going to fail out and you won't have enough to be able to actually do that. So in some senses, depending on what enemies have, you know, you may be able to do some things to maybe outsmart like your enemy so that they can not be able to take an opportunity attack against you, because like maybe they're low on momentum. Or for the GM can kind of toy around with the players a little bit, and it's like, oh yeah, that dude's already attacked 3 times. I can just like walk past him with this one guy, and you know, that's not going to be an issue at all. So okay, all right, that's good. I think there's another thing that I need to address, is since you have this like attacking has this, you know, well,
Artlist.io.
no, I guess that's an easier way to do it. The question that I'm trying to ask myself is, what about actions in combat that don't require, or that don't involve
Music
attacking,
licensing
like
reimagined.
drinking potions, taunting enemies, things of this nature? It doesn't, it's not like you're actually trying to wound somebody, you're just doing something, you're just doing something else. So what does that look like? So the thing that I was thinking about this, what would we call this? Like maybe just like non-violent actions. I don't know. That's a working title. Also, man, if while I'm designing I seem like I'm rambling, I am, dude. I'm just trying to figure this stuff out while I'm sitting here talking, and sometimes my own voice will like distract me from the thoughts that I have going in my brain. So, just give me some patience. We'll get to a
Music
point to where like
licensing
it'll all be cohesive
reimagined.
and make sense. It just probably won't start out there. Okay, so what about combat actions, or what about actions in combat that don't involve attacking, like drinking potions, taunting enemies, things of that nature? Uh, but they are still considered a combat, or even like maybe something is considered a defensive action, but it's not necessarily involving like attacking. So I think that we can kind of follow. I like to try to mirror stuff as much as I can, like have mechanics that mirror each other. And so whenever you're attacking or defending, you're anteing up anima so that it's like a risk and reward. Like you may get that anima back, you may not. But I think if you're doing these actions that are
Music licensing reimagined.
non-violent, I don't know what to describe these as right now. That's what we're gonna just use though. Then I think it may just be one of those things where you can have like a limited amount of them or mirror the same system that you have currently, but instead of it anteing momentum, or dang it, instead of anteing anima, now you're having to just like
Artlist.io.
straight up expend it. And so if you're wanting to, drink 3 potions in a round, if that's something that you're trying to do, then first is free as always. Like you always get a free combat action, no matter if that's attacking or whatever.
Reimagined.
Then your second is going to you're gonna have to expend 1 anima, like you just throw it into the wind. And then your third would be expend 2 anima. So there's no way of getting it back. It's just like you're having to expend it. I don't know. I think this is something that we can test out and see how it would go. A big thing for me in my design space is just trying to give players a lot of freedom, and so I don't love locking them down to be like, oh, well, you can only do, if you want to attack or defend, you can do that as much as you want. But if you just want to drink like a potion or something, then like that's, you can only do that once or something like that. So I don't know. We maybe what we could do, like if this is option 1, is mirror the ante. Can't spell mirror. If this is option 1, where we're marrying the ante, maybe option number 2. I'm thinking we create a new type of action called interact. And maybe the interact action is just very simply like players can interact with one or I don't know. Essentially something that's saying, hey, we're going to have this action called interact, but interact only allows you to take 1 action. Like there is no doing multiple. Like if it's on your turn and you choose to interact, then that would be like taking a potion or applying poison to a weapon or something like that. But I don't know, because that also makes me think like, okay, well, what if I have poison to a weapon and I use my combat action to apply the poison, but then now I gotta like wait a whole turn before I can go and like slash somebody with it. Like, I don't know. I guess it's the question of like, do you want that in your system or do you not want that in your system? And for me, I don't know, man. I just want things to move quick. And so if a dude wants to apply poison and then immediately go and smack somebody in the face, like I want him to be able to do that. So maybe this whole mirror anti thing is something that we can do. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe you can only do non-violent actions with your free action. So if you want to take a potion, or if you want to do anything like that, you have to use your free action for it. I honestly like that better than this interact. I don't know. Okay, option 3 is, what did I just say? You can only use whatever non-violent actions are on. Oops. Violent actions. You can only use non-violent actions on your
music licensing
combat
reimagined.
action. Yeah, that is an option. So, what are these things? Let's make some lists of what these non-violent. So obviously, like interacting with an object. I'd say that if you are taunting, you know, you're still making a roll for that actually, so probably not that. It's really actions that don't have the same kind of risk associated, like attacking and defending do. So really, apart from interacting with an object, what else would this be that you're doing? I guess some racial abilities are as a combat action.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
This is why these things are important. Maybe we just do option 2 and players can have 1 free interact per round. And this would be things like drinking a potion or something of that nature. I think that option number 1, where we're marrying the anti, except for you're doing expending instead of antiing, I think that's going to get confusing. To where players are going to have to think like, oh, I'm expending, but I was just antiing, so why am I having to expend when I used to be antiing just because I'm doing a different thing?
Music licensing
but
reimagined.
Since I've taken like 3 attacks this turn, and now I'm trying to drink a potion, and it's my 4th one, does that mean that it's free, or does that mean that I gotta spend like 4 anima now? Like, what's the deal? So I think honestly, option number 2, just creating a new type of action called interact, and then just saying that players can have one not even 1 free interact, just like, oh no, I deleted my PL. Yeah, 1 free interact per round, and then that's it.
Music licensing reimagined.
Okay, I think that's good. I think I can get rid of these guys. Not bad. Okay, so now we know kind of how that works. So now I know if I'm starting off combat, right? Like, simple example, if I'm starting off combat, I'm like, hey, I want to put poison on my weapon. It's like, not a problem. You have one interact action per round. I'm not going to say one free, but players have one interact per round. Like, that's all that they can do.
Music licensing reimagined.
So, you know, they apply the poison, and it's like, all right, cool. Now, bam, 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 bam. Like, I'm smashing somebody up. Or now it's their turn. They're like, okay, I want to drink a potion. It's like, cool. You can use your free interact action to take that potion. I think that's good. I think that's a good rule. I could see that implementing well with a lot of other things in the game. Making something a interact action rather than a combat or a defensive, and I think that'd be good because you could make a spell, or I'm sorry, you could make like a potion or something a defensive action. You know, so if you wanted to heal yourself, then you know you still have to ante for anima, but the problem lies in, okay, well, what's the resolution? Because with attacking, you know, you have like a clear goal you need to beat. Like, you need to beat their evasion and then defense. And then if you do beat the evasion, then hey, you get that anima back that you anteed. But if you're just taking a potion, like, there's no real thing involved. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's just gonna happen. Like, you're just gonna heal. So you just get all that anima back. So it doesn't even make sense to ante anything in the first place. So I think this interact is good. It's just like, yeah, you just get to do one thing. So I think that's nice. Okay, so now we have our combat, kind of explaining that they have their own separate tracks. We have opportunity attacks. We have how that works. I think that this is good because these are... Okay, so for this, I need to say number of combat actions, and then number of defensive actions. So I think this is good.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I think that's all right. Let me go up here. Let me read kind of this other stuff real quick that we have for attacking to make sure that it all flows okay.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, so after your first attack, you can choose to enter into an attack chain. Yeah, we'll have to look at that attack chain. I may need to... Okay, this is good. Attack and defense chains reset at the start of each round of combat. Yeah. Cool, cool. Ammo hitting 0. Yep. Yeah, so there's a lot of things here. I think the deal is I need to see if this is going to be stupidly complicated for somebody to keep track of, or if overall it's gonna go fine. So we can honestly run like a little combat sim here. Also, I don't know if anybody is hyped for Chrono Odyssey, but I am so excited for this game to come out. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Artlist.io.
It's go to owlbear profile. Okie doke. So yeah, let me just grab some pieces here and we can just mess with it a little bit. So let's just say
Music licensing reimagined.
we're gonna say this leaf is a goblin, and I'm gonna use these little tokens here. So if it was my turn, let's say that this dude has, you know, like, let's say he has 2 wounds or something. I'm gonna see how easily this would go. Next to me, I have 2d8s and I have 2d4s. So I'm just gonna roll these 2d4s, and we're gonna see how this goes.
Artlist.io.
So let's say narratively, because the way that combat works is that narratively, whoever gets the jump gets to go first. So this goblin gets the jump, so he's going to come up and he's going to make an attack against me. And I'm going to say that I'm going to write this down real quick. I'm going to say that I have a
Music
evasion
licensing reimagined.
of 6. I'm going to have a defense of 5. Okay, that's what I'm going to have. So I'm a little bit more of an evasive character. Okay, so for this attack, I'm going to say that my character actually wants to dodge. So I'm going to roll to see how well I dodge. And wow, I actually rolled incredibly well. I rolled double 4s on these d4s, so that's already 8 plus 6. That puts us at 14. 14 plus 5. Okay, so that puts us at 19. So I'm at 19 for my evasion, which is crazy. And then this little goblin coming to attack me. Let's see what he gets. Okay, so he rolled. Okay, a 4 and a 2, so we're at 6. Okay, he rolled a 7. Okay, so he rolls a 7, which most definitely misses.
Music
And so
licensing
now it is
reimagined.
my character's turn. I've only used my free defensive action here, so I don't have to worry about any of that. But now I'm going to take my attack action, and I'm actually going to... Oh, wait, yeah. Grabbing some d6s here so I have them physically in my hands. Okay.
Artlist.io.
And so I'm going to... Oh no! Okay, I got it. I'm going to attack this guy, and I'm actually going to surge. And so since I'm surging, I am going to take 1 anima. This is going to be my anima representation. And I'm going to add it to my roll. So I'm going to roll 2d4 with a d6 here as well. So 2d4 and a d6. I rolled a 4 on my d4 and a 2 on my d6 and a 1 on my other d4. So I'm going to take the highest of those 2. So I'm going to take my 2 on my d6 and my 4 on my d4, and it explodes now. So I'm going to re-roll. Okay, and I rolled a 3. So altogether, that's 6 plus 3, so that's a 9. So a 9 will most definitely hit a goblin, and it will wound it. And then since I was successful on my attack, I am going to regain that anima, and this dude is going to take 1 wound. Now, right, we're just sitting here, we're just standing. I'm not doing anything special here. I'm not using any spells. I'm not doing any special things like that.
Music
Obviously,
licensing reimagined.
combat is in this game. There are so many ways that you can like displace opponents or displace yourself, and that was one thing I honestly forgot to do. Is whenever you use dodge as an attack, you move your character 5 feet in a direction. So honestly, me doing that in itself, me dodging, I actually broke his opportunity attack, because now I'm technically still engaged with him. Like we're still engaged, but if his weapon reach is only 5 feet, I've now gotten out of that. So there is a lot of tactility to this game. So I did actually dodge on my turn or whenever he was attacking me. So I did have to come back up to attack him. And then now I wounded him once. I'm going to take a second swing at him, and I'm going to surge on this as well. I'm going to spend 1 of my anima. But since this is my second attack, I also have to ante 1. So this one is just in the ether. Like I won't get it back because surging it essentially makes you spend it. But I may be able to get my one that I anteed. So I'll go ahead and roll my 2d4 with my d6 again. And I rolled a 7. Okay, so a 7 is actually going to miss for me. So I lose this one that I anteed, I lose the one that I surge, and then I lose one more because I failed to roll. So watch how quickly you go from having a lot of anima to literally having none. So now I'm in like a very dangerous situation here. I can't attack because I don't have enough anima. I need to ante 2 for my next attack, and I've already defended. Good news is that whenever he starts, the round's going to renew. But yeah, that's kind of where I am. So okay, now it's the goblin's turn. And let's say that the goblin, because I want it to be a thing to where in some capacity, the goblins, or I'm sorry, just the monsters get the momentum that you, or the anima that you failed on. And I think that that's just like a cool way of like the shift in the battle is like the more the players suck, the stronger the monsters get, and the more the players are awesome. It seems like almost the weaker the monsters are, kind of like a morale type of system. And so now that this monster is attacking, I actually want him to surge with 2 of these dice. So I'm going to roll 2d6 plus my 2d4 that I normally have when I'm attacking a target. Oh, nice. And I rolled on my 2d6s, I rolled a 6 and I rolled a 4. So I'm going to re-roll here. Okay, so altogether I rolled a 13. This character, if we were playing an actual game, would probably dodge if they knew what was best for them. So I'm going to say that they went ahead and did that whenever they were targeted for the roll. Because they don't want to get wounded, right? Like if they get wounded, they're at 0.
Music licensing.
So what, they rolled 13. I rolled... Oh yeah. We're just exploding like crazy. Okay, 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 3, so 13 plus my... Yeah, it puts me at another 19. So since I successfully evaded an attack, I'm going to get a anima back, which is awesome. And then this character is going to miss. And so now that it'll be my character's turn, he can come in. He also surged with 2, so he loses these guys. So, I mean, a lot of back and forth here, a lot of rolling. It's a little bit different whenever you're looking at it from like I'm playing both people. I do see how this could get like very hard very fast, and so I do want to be wary of that. Just since there is so much shift like back and forth, and if we have imagination and immersion at the center, I don't want the players to be like so focused on the anima side of things that they're like not having fun with the combat system itself. So that may need some work. But ultimately I haven't really play tested it fully. So that's just kind of a little example of how combat would work. Now this guy isn't dead yet or anything like that, but that's kind of how a couple of rounds of combat would go. So if this guy attacked one more time and hit the goblin and hit, he'd be dead, and that'd be awesome. And I could choose if I wanted to, right? Since in this game I can literally do like whatever I wanted to. As my free action on this turn, I could be like, dude, I don't want this goblin to get away. I want to try to knock him prone, and I could expend an anima to go to do that and make a check. So that would be brawl, because you're like brawl is a little bit more like close quarters things. So I make a brawl check, and I rolled a 5. So I'm rolling a 5 against whatever his he gets to resist on it. So if he's resisting, I rolled a 5. He has to roll I don't know what it is for him to go prone. I guess he'd just have to be to 5 maybe. Yeah, he rolled a 4. Right on. So he'd be down, and then now that he's down, now I'm gonna get attack with
Music
advantage,
licensing
but I have to ante
reimagined.
this anima. But now if I'm rolling my 2d4s here with advantage, which just means whatever my lowest die is, I re-roll it. Nice, I rolled a 4 and a 2. Plus another 4, so that's 10. Nice, so I rolled like an 11. I'm definitely hitting this guy. I'm definitely wounding him, like he dies. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here. I definitely don't think it's like the cleanest thing ever, but I really do like the flavor and the concept of like the shift in tide, and having this energy resource that is literally your character's fuel for everything that's cool, and the tactility that it does offer. The tactility just can't be so high up there that it, bogs down the imagination. This should really be a helpful tool for the imagination more than anything else. But yeah, that's kind of a look at the combat in the game. Little small sim of what that looks like. I'm going to be doing some playtesting here in the next couple weeks, so we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, if anybody's watching this and they got questions or feedback on something, if you're like, hey man, I like the concept, but like maybe try like this type of stuff, man, I'm totally open to hearing that, because I know that oftentimes the stuff that you come up with, it's not always the best right off the rip. But then also, man, just like multiple minds getting together in a room, you usually just kind of brainstorm and come up with some better stuff. So if any of you guys have anything like that, I would love to know. So I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.